Major Slack Videos.
Well, yeah, the name is Slack. Thanks for coming back. Let's walk through some more Elden Ring. We're going to do the MALIKETH boss fight, or the Beast Clergyman slash MALIKETH boss fight, because he starts out as the Beast Clergyman. And in case you don't know, well, maybe I'm doing a bit of a spoiler. Well, the game is 7 months old. Maybe I won't say anymore. Let's just say the Beast Clergyman's boss fight, for those of you who have no idea what happens after that. Alright, this is a hell of a boss fight. It's absolutely hellacious. I've abandoned the mage strategy because the strategy I'm about to show you totally kicks ass. I mean, it kicks so much ass, it's unbelievable. First thing I recommend you do is spend all your runes, because if you fail, you could be losing a lot of runes. And then at that point, the only thing you'll be losing is a rune arc. And I'm going to show you a little something you can do to prevent even that from happening. Alright, so we are working on getting enough smithing stones to max out a regular weapon and or shield. We have tons of somber smithing stones. We can max out 2 uniques, and we could take 1 unique to plus 10, and if I buy 1 more 6, 7, and 8, I could take 3 uniques to plus 9, so we're not hurting in that department. This is where we need. Okay, so I got a little list here of everything to buy. That's where I'm going to spend my money. It's that easy. It's the best thing to invest in, because currently we're at level 154, which is just about right for this point in the game. So, you know, and we can easily, I'll explain later when we go respec. For now, it's about smithing stones. I got a little list here. Where's my smithing stone list? Okay, so we need 3 11s, or 3 11s. 11 3s. We need 12 4s. We need 11 5s. 7 6s. 12 7s. And 12 8s, but I won't be able to buy them, so that's that. And we have 1500 runes left. The best thing to do now is to buy boiled crab. Get as many as you can. You can buy 2. Done and done. And I still have 300 runes left. Let's go to the church and buy some arrows.
Always a pleasure.
There we go, 15 arrows, and there we go.
Goodbye.
I have 1 rune left. I think I can afford to part with 1 rune. Right? Now, next, respec'ing. Like I said, the mage strategy caved in. It only turned out to be about 50%. Thought it was a good strategy, but I got tired of it. It can really take down the Beast Clergyman very fast and very easily, but the second part, that's where it kind of just failed. Let's go to Ranella, well, rather Ray Lucari Grand Library, and meet up with Ranella, Queen of the Moon, so we can respec. If you've been following this walkthrough, everybody should have 4 larval tiers, so we can respec 4 times. Okay, now basically we're going to start out, we're going to make a melee build. And we're going to use the Flame of the Redmanes on the Great Ape. This is fantastic. This is a thrusting sword. That means we can use it while blocking. Alright? And you want your best physical damage gear on. This would be Lionel's gear, but it's just too heavy. And the benefit you get from Lionel's gear over the scaled gear is like only 2 extra points of physical damage negation for, I mean 15 extra pounds or something like that. That's ridiculous. So I recommend you go with the scaled armor. Okay, across the board, it's the scaled helmet. Everyone's got this too, so it's not like, you know, if you're following the walkthrough, everybody should have the scaled armor, scaled gauntlets. If you can find better, put that on, but I'm just going with what I know everybody has. Okay, so you may be able to, like, you know, just switch it over, and you may hover over like everything and see maybe you can find something better. If you can, put that on. But you don't want to sacrifice too much weight. Alright? So that's that. Talismans. We want defense. 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 So let's start off with Dragon Crest Shield Talisman, which will bump up our physical damage negation up to 42. Okay, from 31 up to 42. Then you want to put on this here, which will give you better guarding. It'll boost your guard boost. Okay, so that'll give you about, I think it's like 15 points guard boost. Next, we want the talisman that gives us more damage and guard counters, definitely. And finally, we're going to be doing critical hits, and you want to be recovering health during those critical hits, so put on the Assassin's Crimson Dagger. Alright, so those 4 talismans: Dragon Crest, Great Shield, Curved Sword, and Assassin's Crimson Dagger. As for flasks, you're going to start out with a really tanky spirit, like your Mad Pumpkinhead, maxed out at plus 10. Right after that, you're going to want to refill your FP. Right after that, you want to, of course, health. Okay, so that's our build. So now we have a clear idea of the equipment load. This is important, okay, because we don't want to be fat rolling in this fight. Okay, so our equipment load is 54.7. Now it's all math, people. It's just all math. So take out your calculator, punch in 54.7, divided by 7. That comes out to 7.81 times 10. And there you go. That is your maximum equipment load in order to... Yeah, that's right. Your maximum equipment load in order to avoid fat rolling is 78.1. We're already there now, but you got to remember that number, 78.1. It's actually 78.14, so just call it 78.2. Okay, so write that down, 78.2. 78.2. Strike that. There's something missing here. We want to be able to cast Scholar's Shield. We won't be able to use the Carrying Regal Scepter because we're going to take our intelligence way down. And we won't have the required 60 intelligence to use this. But we can easily use the Meteorite Staff. It doesn't matter because Scholar's Shield is not dependent on sorcery scaling. Okay, so we put that in. Okay, so now I knew there's something wrong here. Yeah, here our equipment load is 59.2. There you go. Okay, so do over 59.2 divided by 7 times 10, and there is your maximum equipment load that you need to have in order to avoid fat rolling, which is 84.57. Let's just call it 84.6. 84.6 just to make sure you hit it when you're respecing. Okay, so 84.6 max equip load. Next thing you want to check is the Great Ape. I'm just going to assume that you have no Rune Arc. I do have a Rune Arc. But if you don't have a Rune Arc, that means all your attributes are going to be 5% lower, or like 5 points lower. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that you have no Rune Arc. So I'm going to like be a little over strength and over dexed. But like I said, I'm just making it
is it thy wish to eat?
Available for everybody. Alright, so Rebirth, spend the larval tier. Okay, priority number 1, you want strength up to 15. Even with the Rune Arc, I went with strength 15 anyways. And you want dexterity up to 16. So now we can wield our Great Ape. No problem. Next, you want to cover your max equipment load. Okay, so you're watching the max equipment load, and you want to, what did we say, 84.6? So keep bumping up your endurance until you just past 84.6. 82.8, 84.1, nope, 85.4, that'll do it. Okay, so there you go. So you want your endurance at 36. And that's it. So next thing to consider is how much FP you have. The Flame of the Red Mane skill, typically if you run a perfect game, you only need to cast it 4 times for the Beast Clergyman and 4 times for Malekith. That's perfect. Now, nobody's perfect, okay? Probably going to miss a lot. So let's say you want a good big buffer zone. So you want to be able to cast the skill 10 times per boss, okay? And it costs 14 points of FP per casting. So 10 times 14 is 140. So you want to bump up your mind until you have 140 plus FP. It's that simple. Ace, keep going. 116, 121, 126, 131, 137, 142. There you go. So that's where you want to set your mind, and that's it. And next, we're going to put points into vigor up to the soft cap, 60. So jam it all the way up to 60. Give yourself lots of health. Okay, after that, you're not going to get very much increase in health. Watch what happens when I put 1 more point. I only get 6 more points health. Okay, so that's the soft cap. And after that, Flame of the Red Manes with the Flame Art Affinity is going to put Faith scaling on your sword. So we're going to put all the rest of the points in Faith to get the most damage out of our sword. And that's it. That's your build. This is our Malekith boss busting build. It's that simple. It's all math. Okay? There you go. Done and done. Alright, so flasks. It's all about defense. You're gonna cast Mad Pumpkinhead. That'll wipe out like one FP flask. Let's say 2 more FP flasks. I mean, that is, that means you're really screwing up and you're using up a lot of your skills, like a lot of your weapon skills. That'd be like 10 castings per boss, which is ridiculous. So that'd be like a total of 3 flasks of Cerulean Tears. Let's go with 4 just to be sure. Okay, so 10 health and 4 flasks of Cerulean Tears. That give you lots of FP to cast your weapon skill. And lots of health flask, which is what you really want. You want to be able to stay alive. Alright, so that's that. Flask of Wondrous Physic. Take those out. Take that out. I would go with something that recovers your stamina. So the Green Burst Crystal Tear. And our newly acquired Crimson Bubble Tear. Is that newly acquired? Did we get that earlier? Yeah, I'll go with the Crimson Bubble Tear. And there we go. That's it. That's our build. Back to the scene of the crime. Beside the Great Bridge. Alright, strategy. Oh yeah. One more thing. This is something I forgot when GamerSlack took over. Spells. You don't need any of these, you can't use them anyways. The only thing you can use, which is going to be really useful, is Scholar's Shield. And that's it. Oh yeah, and Ashes of War, make sure you have the Sacred Affinity, strike that, the Flame Art Affinity on your Great Ape. And make sure you have the Standard Affinity for the biggest guard boost. Another way you could go is the Sacred Affinity for the most holy damage negation, but I think because Malekith does holy damage, I would go with Standard. And that's it. That's our build. Okay? So don't forget, with this Great Ape, you can stab while blocking. That's really important. Okay, let's go up to the boss door. And take that out, put in some boiled crab. I totally forgot to do this too. Okay, so you got your flask of wondrous physic ready to go. You got your boiled crab. Your boiled crab will increase your physical damage negation even more. Just to demonstrate. Gobble one of those down and go to your equipment. You see our physical damage negation is now up to 54. Alright. And now I'm going to use the magic of video editing to go back to the future and into the empty arena after the fight, and I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to do during the fight. Okay, give you the whole strategy. It'd be a lot easier to like describe that actually in the arena. Alright, so back to the future, Slack, take over. Okay, back to the future, Slack, here in the empty arena. I'm going to explain to you the entire fight strategy. Obviously, I don't know what I was thinking earlier. Obviously, I can't explain the fight strategy without first telling you who you're fighting. You start out fighting the Beast Clergyman. It's the same guy you've been feeding death roots to over here at the Bestial Sanctum. That's who you start fighting. And then halfway through the fight, once you get his health down to about halfway, then you get a little cutscene and he transforms into the absolutely hellacious Malekith the Black Blade, which is like a Lion Guardian on steroids. He's like the ultimate Lion Guardian. He's like armor, and he goes airborne, and he's got all these hellacious attacks. It's just nuts. So it's a two-phase boss fight. First one you're going to start out with against is the Beast Clergyman. He does strictly physical damage. He's got some bestial incantations, but all those do physical damage as well. So as soon as you come in, or rather before you come in, you're going to take your flask of wondrous physic. You're going to take a boiled crab to bump up your physical damage negation. And you can do something that I totally forgot to do, was to put Scholar's Shield on my shield. Then you're going to switch over to your sword with the Flame of the Redmanes, and you're going to go in. And then you're going to cast Pumpkinhead, switch over to your flask of Cerulean Tears, refill your FP, and then it's game on. Now at this point, it's all about the Flame of the Redmanes. That is your priority. What you want to do is cast Flame of the Redmanes when he gets close. Okay, it looks like this. Just use your weapon skill, Flame of the Redmanes. It costs 14 FP. Alright? There you go, Flame of the Redmanes. Okay, now the deal is, if you can cast Flame of the Redmanes, obviously when he's up close, okay? And do it while keep your shield up all the time, no matter what. That's priority number one. Keep your shield up, and when he's close, you have an opportunity, you're locked on, do Flame of the Redmanes. And if you could do 2 Flame of the Redmanes, that's it, just 2 on him, and they hit him, you'll break his stance. It's that simple. Okay, you break his stance. Once you break his stance, you go around, do a critical hit, boom, do the critical hit. He goes flat on his ass. At this point, he's going to be slow to get up. You can actually lock on and do 2 more Flame of the Redmanes right away before he even has a chance to react. So basically, you can stun lock him. Okay, so as soon as you break his stance, you can stun lock him. So take him down, do the critical hit, lock on, 2 more Flame of the Redmanes. He break his stance again, do another critical hit. First phase is over, just like that, just like that. Now, contingency plan. Let's say you cast Flame of the Redmanes, it doesn't work. He's bopping around, he's hitting you, keeping your shield up. Your next, like, plan B is basically do a guard counter. You got your shield up. As soon as he hits you, press the strong attack button and you do a guard counter. 3 or 4 guard counters, you also break his stance, but you want to rely on Flame of the Redmanes. Okay? Third contingency plan. If plan B fails, you're doing guard counters, you're getting dinged up a little bit, you have to reheat, you have to heal, and Pumpkinhead's taking some heat. Third contingency plan is just simply keep your shield up, get close to him, and stab, 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 stab while your shield is up. And you can actually break his stance with about 10 or 12 stabs. Okay, so that's plan C. Plan A, Flame of the Red Mains. Plan B, guard counter. Plan C, just stab. But whatever you do, stay close and keep at him. And if you have to heal, back off, heal. But that's pretty much it. I don't do any dodge rolling in the first part at all. I just stay close and go at him hard with those 3 strategies. Alright? Now, after you take his health down to about 50%, you're going to get a big cutscene, and he's going to transform into Malekith the Black Blade, and you're going to spawn about here, but it's not reliable. I've seen it actually spawn me. This was ridiculous. It spawned me like right like this, and my first reaction is to push forward as soon as the cutscene is over. So when it happened like that, I pushed forward and just pushed right over the edge. It was a real bitch. So be wary of that, but typically you spawn right about here. Now, Malekith is a lot different than the Beast Clergyman. Like you said, he's like a Lion Guardian, but he goes airborne, he does all these flipping airborne attacks, and he's going to be shooting this black flame holy attacks on you from all different angles from like being airborne. Your best defense, don't run away. If you run away, he's going to whack you. He's just going to take you down. Your best defense is to get close to him as quickly as possible. Keep your shield up, and if he's airborne, get right underneath him. As soon as he lands, Flame of the Red Mains. Then if you could do 2 Flame of the Red Mains, it's the exact same thing. You'll break his stance, and as soon as you've broken his stance, it's game over, because then you could do the same thing. You break his stance, do a critical hit, lock on, do 2 more Flame of the Red Mains right away, and you'll break his stance again before he even has a chance to react. Then once you've done it the second time, do a critical hit, and it's fight over. That's it. That's it. And it's the exact same strategy as the Beast. Plan B is guard counter. Plan C is just simply stab. And if he goes airborne and you don't know what to do, dodge to the side. He has this one attack that's going to come like straight down. At that point, you dodge forward. But I suck at the whole trying to read the enemy's attacks and dodging in the right direction. So usually I just like dodge to one side to try to, if you think he's gonna like attack you, dodge to one side. You're likely to not like have him hit you, but sometimes he will, because that's not the right dodge. If he's doing the aerial attack where like this kind of like crescent, this red crescent is coming down horizontally, the correct reaction is to dodge forward. But I wouldn't worry about that too much. I would just try to stay right underneath him. As soon as he lands, Flame of the Red Mains. If you need to heal, get behind a pillar, heal up, and then get right back into the game. Don't leave Pumpkinhead too much on his own, because he's gonna whack him, and that's your best protection, is to have Pumpkinhead fighting along with you. You want him to survive, right? And that's it. And now I'm gonna hand the reins on over to GamerSlack, and he's gonna show you how it's done. GamerSlack, take it away. Okay, GamerSlack down in the trenches behind the gun, and MC Dubslack in the rear with the gear on the microphone. This is going to happen pretty fast. I'll try to keep up with the commentary, but it's going to go down exactly like I described it. The only thing I forgot to do was use Scholar's Shield. I don't know why, I just plumb forgot to do it, but it still worked out. But everything is going to go down like I described. So up to the boss door. Going to switch over my pouches to the Flask of Wondrous Physic and the Boiled Crab. Okay, I'm going to use the Flask of Wondrous Physic, take the Boiled Crab, and in we go. Cast Pumpkinhead, refill FP. And just wait right here, because you don't want Pumpkinhead to get confused. You want him right beside you as soon as the fight starts. Lock on, Flame of the Red Mains once, Flame of the Red Mains twice, boom, break his stance. That's it, that's all. Critical hit. Lock on again, Flame of the Red Mains immediately, twice again. Once, twice, broke his stance again, and critical hit, that's it. Fight's over. That is it. First phase is over. And now, well, you're going to see what happens.
Oh, death. Become my blade once more.
Like I said, Lion Guardian on steroids. Here come the authorities. Okay, same thing. Refill health, run straight at him. Straight at him. Flame of the Red Mains. Once. Flame of the Red Mains. Missed that time, do it again. Flame of the Red Mains. Boom, that's it, that's all it takes. Twice, and you break his stance. Now we got him. Critical hit. Lock on right afterwards. Spam that Flame of the Red Mains button. Once. Twice. Break his stance. Critical hit. Fight's over. That's it, people. That's it.
To kill what?
Best Malekith boss fight strategy ever, in my opinion. I'm going to use this in every build. I don't think anything can beat it as far as ease and speed. So, how about a thumbs up? Really appreciate it.
The rune of death is unbound. And the lands between are shrouded by death's dark fate. But the flames will also burn the impenetrable thorns. Farewell it is then. You'll be Elden Lord yet.
Whoa, what a night. And you get transported back to Leyndell, which is now in ashes. It is transformed into Leyndell, the Ashen capital. It's pretty much deserted. And here is where the remaining 3 boss fights take place. There are no other enemies, just those 3 boss fights. Although you're still free to roam around the entire gamescape and do other stuff. But the final 3 boss fights take place here. That's it, people. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you thought this was remotely entertaining and or informative, you know what to do. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, post a comment, and I'll see you next time for some more Elden Ring. Hey guys, real walkthroughs like these are an endangered species here on YouTube. For a complete lowdown on the YouTube video game walkthrough scene, check out my Patreon page and please consider making a donation to yours truly, Major Slack, to help keep real walkthroughs alive on YouTube. You can donate as little as $1. That's $1, that's all. That's all it takes, alright? Thanks a lot, really appreciate it.